Update. Am I the a-hole? My boyfriend brought home a girl for the holidays. Original post. I, 24 female, am with my longtime boyfriend and best friend since birth. 23 male, let's call him Will. A little backstory. Our moms were best friends in high school, and since we are less than a year apart, we grew up very close and always hung out. Will, his twin brother, let's call him Wyatt, and I were always together growing up, going on vacations, having sleepovers during the summer, etc. Will and I have basically had crushes on each other since we were in elementary school, but we only officially started dating when I was a sophomore and he was a freshman in high school. We've only ever dated each other. Then it was time for me to go to college since I was a grade ahead. We both thought I should take a gap year so we could start together. Well, we both ended up taking multiple gap years, lol. We had decent jobs and the luxury of being able to travel, so we did. So this year, the three of us started college for the first time, plus Will and Wyatt's best friend. We'll call him Ian, 23 male. As the years went by, before I started college, I kept switching ideas for majors. I ended up choosing one they didn't have at the college we all wanted to go to, so I talked with Will about it, and we decided we could still make it work since the college that had the major I wanted was only a 1-hour car ride away. Well, college started. I ended up absolutely hating my major, so I will be switching and transferring to the original college of choice, which Will is super happy about, and I'll be moving into the apartment he has with Wyatt and Ian. Now, moving on to the actual problem. It is, of course, winter break, and I was so excited to spend time with Will since we didn't get to see each other much during the semester, even though we texted as much as we could and always FaceTimed at night, even if it was only for 5 minutes. So imagine my surprise when I come home for break and go to his parents' house, and there's a girl sitting in the living room with them. Will comes up and greets me like everything's normal and introduces me to the girl. We'll call her Abby, 19 female. Wyatt tells me that they've all grown close to her at college and that she's become like a best friend to them. I was floored by this. Will never once told me that he made any good friends at college, let alone a girl. I could tell from his face that Will knew I wasn't exactly thrilled, but since we were in front of people, I kept my mouth shut. Not long after that, I went to help Will and Wyatt's mom in the kitchen and asked her if she knew anything about Abby, like maybe her family lived too far away and she couldn't afford to travel back. Or maybe she had a bad home life. Anything that could make a bit of sense. She told me she had asked the same question because she was a bit weirded out as well, but they told her Abby had a good relationship with her family and just wanted to spend Christmas with friends this year. This rubbed me completely the wrong way. I can't imagine ditching my family to spend Christmas with 2 guys I've only known for 3 or 4 months, especially when you aren't dating one of them. A good time to mention that Wyatt is gay. I talked to Will about it later that night and told him I was uncomfortable that she was there, especially because it was supposed to be our time together after months apart. Plus, it's a family holiday, and she isn't family. He told me that he understood, but that she's just a good friend and wanted to spend Christmas with them, and he felt too bad to tell her no. And by the way, this isn't an "is my boyfriend cheating or not" post. I genuinely trust Will, and I don't think he would ever cheat on me. Now I have to admit I do get jealous sometimes, but I really don't think I'm that unreasonable. I don't mind him having friendships with a different gender as long as boundaries aren't crossed, but I feel like this is a huge boundary. We were supposed to use this time to catch up, but now this girl, who has already been spending time with them for months, is here. I thought maybe she would spend most of her time with Wyatt while Will and I could do our own thing. Nope. We went ice skating 2 days ago, which is a tradition of ours. And guess who wanted to come as soon as we got ready? Abby. We tried to watch a movie in the basement last night. Guess who showed up? Abby. We went to look at Christmas lights a few nights ago, and who wanted to come? Abby. We needed to go Christmas shopping? Abby wanted to come with us. We had a date planned for the Christmas market. She knew it was a date, and Abby still wanted to come. Luckily, this time Will told her no. I should also mention that the only time Wyatt was with us during any of that was for the Christmas lights. That's it. So it wasn't like she just wanted to be included and didn't want to be alone. I finally snapped tonight when Will and I were getting ready to go to my grandma's to decorate cookies like we do every year. Abby asked where we were going, and Will answered. She then had the audacity to ask again, "Can I come with?" This is where I might be the a-hole. I told her no, she couldn't come, that she had intruded enough on this break already, and that she knew we hadn't seen each other in 4 months. Yet she couldn't stop inserting herself. I told her to go back to her family for Christmas, because she wasn't a part of this family and never would be. She cried and ran to the guest room. Will got super mad at me and told me I was being ridiculous and a jealous brat, but I'm genuinely fed up. This girl is either interested in my boyfriend or she has a major boundary problem. Either way, I don't want to deal with it. It was super awkward at my grandma's since Will is still mad at me, but now that I think about it, I can't help being mad at him too. He lied to me, or withheld information I guess, about getting close to another girl, and now that I've met her, I'm very concerned because she seems unhealthily attached to my boyfriend and hasn't really made any effort to hang out with Wyatt. I think letting her come for Christmas and our reunion was super disrespectful, and I know for a fact that if the tables were turned, he would be enraged. Christmas is now in 2 days, and I'm not even excited anymore. I know that anything we try to do, Abby will just insert herself into, and this was my favorite holiday. I texted Ian about her, and he told me that she seemed closer to Wyatt than Will when they were at college, so I honestly have no idea what's going on. So I guess, am I the a-hole for blowing up at her? Any advice on what to do now? Thank you for any advice. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Girl, why didn't your boyfriend tell you? You actually showed up, and neither one of your lifelong friends thought to mention that another person would be there, let alone some girl 4 years younger than you all. You talk to him every day, and he never mentioned any new friends, let alone this one, who they let or invited to come home with them for Christmas. I'd be annoyed at both of them because you're supposed to be friends, but I'd be side-eyeing your man. All very sus, all very strange. This is what angered me the most. I don't understand why neither of them told me, since we're older than the normal age of starting college. And he was going with his brother and best friend, I honestly just assumed we wouldn't be trying to go out and make friends, which I understand can sometimes happen naturally, so I never really asked about it. I can't understand for the life of me why he couldn't just tell me. I'm going to talk to him later about it for sure. I don't think you're wrong for feeling blindsided, but I do think you need to talk to Will directly before letting this spiral. College changes people and social circles fast, and it sounds like he didn't realize how big this would feel to you. Bringing someone home for Christmas without warning your partner is a bad call, full stop. That said, jumping to conclusions won't help. Tell him clearly why this upset you and see how he responds. His reaction will tell you a lot. I'll definitely talk with him soon. I think I need to calm down a bit first though. Writing this just made me more angry at him and the situation. My mind definitely jumps to conclusions fast, which doesn't help my case. Ask him to come over to talk, alone. Tell him how you see this situation, calmly. Let him know you brought this strange girl into our relationship whom you never mentioned before. You said she's a good friend to you, Wyatt, and Ian, yet she's attached to you at the hip. We've hardly had any alone time because she's always there. I'm sorry for saying what I did, but I was fed up. Your mother was wondering what's going on too. If he gives you grief, say, okay, I will stay out of your way so that you can spend the rest of your vacation with her. Give your mom my regards. Maybe reconsider moving in with them, because I bet she's going to be a roommate too. Now for the update. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for all the comments and advice. Since I'm going to be busy during Christmas, I wanted to update today. Here is the update. After 2 panic attacks and thinking way too much, I tried to calm myself down. After a few hours, I texted him and asked if he could come over so we could talk. He arrived and instantly apologized to me for calling me a jealous brat and said I had every right to be annoyed and upset. He just wished I had been less harsh. I apologized as well and said I was a bit too hard, and I told him I should have communicated better. Thanks for all the advice on that. I realize I definitely should have said something sooner rather than letting it all blow up. He told me that he should communicate better as well in the future, which we promised to do. After that, I immediately asked why he had kept his friendship with her a secret in the first place. He told me that he knew I'd be upset about his friendship with a girl, and he didn't want to tell me and make me worry while we were at different colleges. While I'm not going to lie, that would have stressed me out a bit. I still had a right to know. My face must have shown that I wasn't happy with that excuse because he instantly apologized again and said he made a mistake in how he handled this whole thing, but that he genuinely doesn't have any feelings for her beyond friendship and that he would never cheat on me. He told me his mom sat him down after I left and laid it all out for him. How suspicious this must look to me, how trust was broken, and the fact that he completely blindsided me. He told me that really made him think about his actions. He looked very genuine and even started to tear up. Will then told me that Abby had asked Wyatt a couple of weeks ago if she could come to their Christmas instead of her parents this year because she wanted to hang out with them and thought it would be fun. Will told me that Wyatt texted him about the idea as soon as she asked, and that he instantly shut it down, saying it probably wasn't a good idea since I wouldn't like it. He showed me the text messages between Wyatt and him without me even asking. But Wyatt told Will that since it was the first time Will and I had been apart before Christmas break, we would probably be spending even more time alone together than normal, and it could be nice if he had a friend to spend that time with. And Will felt bad, so he agreed. I asked him why he couldn't have just told me that from the get-go, but he said he thought I would understand that he wasn't the one who invited her, which honestly pissed me off, because what do you mean? Obviously, I told him that this was something to work on with communication, and he agreed. He said he had absolutely no idea that Abby would insist on intruding on our alone time together, and that he also should have told her no after the second time she tried, but he was too shocked and confused by her behavior to do anything, because she never acted that way toward him at college. This lined up with what Ian told me earlier, that she seemed closer to Wyatt. I also asked Wyatt and Ian to confirm, and they told me she never acted that way toward Will at college at all. Will told me that he realized Abby must like him after she kept trying to include herself in our plans the third time and didn't make much of an effort to hang out with Wyatt, which was the whole reason she was invited. Wyatt also confirmed all of this on a call and told me he was surprised by her behavior the entire time and had tried to talk with her about it. She apparently said she didn't mean any harm and just wanted to hang out with Will as well, which I'm not sure I really believe. Wyatt also said that whenever he would ask if she wanted to go do something with him, she would always say she wanted to stay inside and relax. Which, girl, you had no problem trying to go out with Will and me when we left the house. Will told me that in the morning, once we got back to his house, he would tell Abby that it's best she spend Christmas with her family, and that once they get back to college, it's best they all keep their distance. Wyatt and Ian also agreed to the same thing so she wouldn't still be around hanging out with them. I'll also be transferring to their college for the upcoming spring semester, which was already planned before this whole incident, so it's not something they could be lying about since they know I'll be living with them soon. So now it's done. Abby didn't take it particularly well and told us that she would back off if she could stay, and that it wasn't fair to make her leave the day before Christmas Eve, but Will remained firm, which I appreciated. I did apologize to her for being too harsh, which she just nodded at. Wyatt already drove Abby back home a few hours ago, and a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I realize this isn't the most thrilling update, but I'm glad we promised each other better communication, as I see that was something we were struggling with on both ends. Thank you again for all the advice and comments, and I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And if you don't celebrate, I hope you have a great day as well. Yeah, chick had an ulterior motive. She figured she'd keep inserting herself and make it look sus, and you'd get mad and she'd get Will. You've planned well to totally avoid her in the future, which would have been my advice. She's not anyone's friend, and she can't be that damn oblivious to her actions. Yeah, once it kept happening, it stopped feeling accidental. You don't repeatedly insert yourself into a couple's plans and not realize how that looks. Avoiding her going forward is just common sense. Glad the boundaries finally went up. I can't even count how many posts like these there are, where he claims to be completely oblivious to the other woman's motives and claims to have hidden the relationship because he knew his GF wouldn't like it. And surprise, almost all of those posts have updates to show he was cheating, either emotionally or physically. Look at it this way, he lied to protect his friendship with this girl. He knew you wouldn't like it, which in other words means he knew he was crossing a relationship boundary. I have a feeling whether you move in with your boyfriend or not, you haven't seen the last of Abby. Wonder how long it will take before he starts trying to rekindle the friendship, under the guise that she has matured and respects your relationship now. For your sake, I hope this was a life lesson for your boyfriend, and he matures and doesn't lie about his behavior again. At least you know his mom has your back. Good luck, OP. Last story. Am I the a-hole for no longer wanting to be around my partner's family after her father falsely accused me of something serious? My partner's father falsely accused me of sexually looking at my mother-in-law due to his own jealousy issues, forced me out of the house, separated me from my kids for a time, never took accountability, and continues toxic behavior. I no longer want contact with her parents, but my partner still maintains a relationship with them. For background, my partner, 27 female, and I, 29 male, have been together for 8 years and have 3 kids. Earlier this year, we were living with her parents temporarily to save money. Her father, Tony, has long-standing jealousy and control issues toward my mother-in-law. This includes accusing her of inappropriate behavior, controlling what she wears, and frequent emotional outbursts. I always stayed out of it out of respect. One weekend, Tony accused my mother-in-law of dressing improperly and claimed it was because I was looking at her. I was completely blindsided. To be very clear, I never looked at my mother-in-law sexually. I viewed her as a parental figure. I had zero inappropriate behavior toward her. Tony later admitted he has a jealousy problem, but instead of addressing it, he accused me and demanded I leave the house so he could fix his issue. He refused to give details, contradicted himself repeatedly, and couldn't describe what I supposedly did. It became obvious this accusation was baseless. The aftermath was, I was forced to leave the house while my partner and kids stayed. I was separated from my children, who cried because I wasn't home. Tony showed zero concern for his grandkids' distress. My mother-in-law distanced herself from me despite knowing the accusation was false. Tony reframed the issue as me being disrespectful because I challenged him. Eventually, we moved out. On moving day, my birthday, Tony tried to involve himself despite never apologizing. I told him he was not welcome in my home. Months later, Tony called me over and said only one word: sorry. No accountability, no explanation, no acknowledgement of the damage done. Later, it became clear he only apologized so he could attend our son's birthday. He continued accusing my mother-in-law afterward and even tried to look for evidence of me texting her. Tony still behaves possessively and hostile toward me. He ignores my existence, including not addressing cards to me, acting annoyed when I speak to my mother-in-law, continuing toxic behavior toward my partner and mother-in-law. This Christmas, I refused to attend celebrations at their house due to the trauma and tension. My partner went with the kids while I stayed home. When they returned, my partner received a Christmas card addressed only to her, not me. That was the final straw. My dilemma is, I no longer want any relationship or contact with her parents, especially Tony. The false accusation, separation from my kids, lack of accountability, and ongoing disrespect are things I cannot move past. My partner still maintains contact and says she's just being civil, but it feels like ongoing emotional involvement. I'm worried this difference will affect our relationship, but I also feel I've endured enough. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for wanting to cut contact with my partner's parents entirely? Edit. Okay, everyone. Because I had to cut this story so short and people complained about my post before, I seem to have left out part of the story. She did stick up for me and was 100% backing me. However, she was conflicted because it was her father and her partner butting heads. I understand how you would be confused, but my kids' school was not close to my mother's place, and I worked early hours in the morning. She had no way to get them to school besides relying on the mother-in-law. My partner is on my side, but I do find myself uneasy that she still wants to go over to their place because her younger siblings still live there. However, the mother-in-law has let this behavior go on too long. At some point, she has to take accountability for this too. So please take it easy on my partner, but I am keeping an open mind to what you guys have to say. There's no take it easy on your partner. She let her dad accuse you of inappropriate behavior with her mother. She stayed in his home because it was more convenient than standing by your side. She continues to let him brush this all under the rug and acts like a big happy family with them, with your children in tow, so they can hear all about how much daddy being that way with grandma. Not the a-hole, but honestly, your kids should also be fully no contact with them if you are, because there should be no way they are exposed to his abuse or potentially alienated from you by him or her family. If she can't or won't understand or allow this, then you have a much more serious problem, I'm afraid. Stand your ground with them all, and good luck. Hope he update me. Thank you. This year has been rough. However, I do have an update with how my life went on. I got a new job, was able to afford a new car for my partner, and also a new one just for me that came out this year. We got a house far away from her family, but I do at times catch myself thinking about this whole situation, and it eats away at me.